and Kenya, and are whooping 860 pending cases. Then if you compare that vis-a-vis the number of judicial officers we have, Kenya has got the greatest number of judicial officers compared to Uganda and Tanzania. So the question is, if Kenya has got the greatest number of judicial officers, that is magistrates and judges, compared to Uganda and Tanzania, yet Kenya is leading with the number of cases that are pending, then the argument that the number of magistrates or judges are required is the ultimate solution to case backlog, then that does not withstand. We must look for alternative measures. Coming back to what Legal Resources again is doing within penal reforms is to ensure that inmates live in a humane condition that is dignifying, and ensuring that the international standards of human rights are upheld. In that an inmate does not lose all his rights by virtue of being in prison. The inmate only loses legally only one right, that is the right to movement within and across borders. But then by default, because our system does not allow, by default they lose the right to vote. But there is nowhere in law that says that a prisoner cannot vote. So in that, then the other rights should be held, and that's why we are in prison, to ensure that all the rights of prisoners are made held. And I must say that I'm impressed with the initiative by the prisons department, and like any other department, they're willing to change. The motivation is there. What they need is the support, and that's why they've called upon other stakeholders through their open door policy to ensure that happens. Currently, you can see the legal raid that is taking place right now. This is to ensure that the inmates who are here, especially remand prisoners, understand the criminal trial process, because every Kenyan has got right to legal representation where they have a matter in court. But many Kenyans cannot afford to have that legal representation. Where that lacks, Legal Resources Foundation is educating people to understand the criminal trial process, so that once they get to trial, they know this is the time when you do cross-examination, this is the time for mitigation, this is the time for your defense, and this is how sentencing is conducted. For us, is to ensure you learn the law so that you can process the case faster. Either you get convicted fast, or if you're innocent, you get out of the system first, to ensure that the efficiency of the judiciary takes place. And then secondly, you also realize that there are inmates who have been forgotten in the prison or in the system. A case study, you find that sometimes you'd find psychiatric cases that are within the judicial system, but they're held in the remand situation. They're still standing trial, yet no judicial officer recognized that they are psychiatric cases. For example, today we were able to come across a lady in Lodwar prison who is psychiatric nature, is not fit in her assessment, is not fit to stand trial, yet the lady is still appearing before the court. For us, that is a gross violation of her rights, because one, the law provides that anybody who is not fit trial because of a psychiatric nature or the psychic nature should not stand trial. First, what they should be able to get is medical treatment. So it shall be important, because it's not just Lodwar prison, there are other similar cases out there, for judicial officers to also be keen to look up at the court when plea is being taken, and just have a quick assessment of the kind of person that is taking plea. Because at times you find that also kids as young as 12 years old, because the magistrate never looked up, then is convicted or is remanded at the prison rather than the children's remand.
AIDS Day is a very important activity in the prison setup, because this is a day that prisoners get an opportunity to be sensitized or either be equipped with legal information or legal knowledge on how to be able to represent themselves in court, how to be able to ask for bonds in court, because we realize that most of these people are not aware that they have a right to that particular opportunity. And it is in this case that we incorporated ourselves with the Legal Resource Foundation for the purpose of facilitating effective access to justice to the prisoners. This was prompted by the fact that the prison population was growing up, and we realized that most of these people, actually, some of them didn't commit the offences, but due to other circumstantial situations, they find themselves in prison. So we thought it wise to make them be able to have the knowledge to challenge whatever they are being accused of. And this is the reason why I had to invite the Legal Resource Foundation for this particular important day, at least for the prisoners to be able to lay out their cases to them, and then they'll get some legal advice, they'll get some legal directions that will assist them in facilitating already in the due process of their cases. Yeah, the Lolo GK prison's capacity is supposed to be 112. But right now I'm talking of having almost 300 prisoners. So that one tells that I'm almost 3 times the population that I'm supposed to be having here. It is in view of the same that we thought it wise to see what measures can we put in place to decongest the prison so that we can have a manageable and a minimal number. I expect after this particular day the prisoners will have the knowledge of even how to apply for bonds in the court so that they can be released out on bond. They do their cases while out. This congestion has also been brought by the fact that there's some delay in administration or quick dispensation of justice. So they can be able to challenge some issues in court so that their cases can be fastened a bit. In the same case, for those ones who have been convicted, some of them were not even aware that they can make an appeal. So they'll also get the opportunity to be equipped with the knowledge of making an appeal, and then after that they can be able to see to it how the same can be reviewed with a view to making them come out of this place. Other than the same, we also want the prisoners to understand their due rights as individuals, because access to justice is a very important component in the human rights aspect. Because when you don't access justice to somebody, you are violating his human rights. So they go hand in hand together. At least somebody will be able to appreciate himself as having been considered in that aspect. Handicapped prisoners, we treat them as